Despite all the rumors, YouTube has a dark side, and they're making our kids racist. Also, we're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con on this week's episode of Dude Soup.
That was pretty good.
It's okay.
You're
It's
looking
fine.
there on camera.
I just can't memorize things very well.
No, I never.
We know.
I was off the cuff.
We know,
It
Adam.
was so off the cuff.
Remember that scene.
Now do the thing where we go, hey!
And we're back.
Yeah, that gets
Here.
everyone excited, especially those driving their car who are now in a
smash
ditch.
the bell.
They can't do that. They're
No.
driving. Don't look at your phone. Hey, I'm your host, Adam Kovic, this week, talking about Dude Soup. I'm joined by Alana Pierce on my left, James Willems also to my
Hello.
left, and Lee somewhere in my middle.
Co-host.
Is that what we're doing? We're doing a co-host thing this
Yeah,
week?
we always are.
Wow.
You're more of my
Can we be
co-pilot.
co-guests? Alana and I are co-guests.
Yes.
Great.
You're
You have to share the responsibilities.
Well,
Absolutely.
Just from Adam and I both, I want to say thank you for joining us.
No, of course.
We're welcome.
Oh, we're so
is it-
happy to be here.
Today's episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by 4. That's right, I said it. 4 fine sponsors. We got Quip. If you go to quip.com/dude, right now you can get your first refill pack for free. I actually got mine today. Warby Parker. Go to warbyparker.com/dudesoup to order your own free home try-on kit with free shipping. And Mint Mobile. You can cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/dude. And finally, Fleur. Go to fleur.com/dudesoup today to check out our beautifully curated sample set. You get 20% off your first custom Fleur sample. So that's really exciting. We'll get to that later. But first, well, how y'all doing? I always ask how everyone's just, how's your day? How's your week? You feeling okay?
Had a good weekend.
It rained
Had a
this morning.
Fun. It poured. Yeah, it poured. Sky
I don't know.
opened up this morning. Now it's fine.
No one checked the weather. I check the weather every morning before I go anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Weather's gonna happen.
Because I love
There's no need
looking
to check
forward
it.
to nice weather.
Okay.
I only check things I
I
can control.
like brooding over bad
Do
weather.
you get disappointed if it's bad?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I probably suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
Yo, you absolutely do.
If you wanted to torture Elise later in life, you guys should just move to Seattle or somewhere where it's...
No, it should be
no
where
way.
did the vampires attack in Alaska? Like that town?
40 days. Or no, wait, what was it? 40 days.
It's 40
30
days
days
and
of
40
night? Or
30 days a night.
I always get that in 40 days and 40 nights.
Both starring
confused.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different films.
Well,
Now,
he's
I'm-
raped in both of those movies.
Yeah, imagine the vampire trying to get him while he can't jack off.
How are you, Adam?
I'm doing great. Little under the weather, but I'm doing okay.
With what?
You should have checked the
Sleep.
weather this morning.
Deprivation.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, no. I do the thing. You know this. We should talk. This is a whole other podcast. But
Great. Let's
Hey.
start it right now. Do a new intro.
no, is sleep killing you? It is. Turns out, I've been doing a lot of like sleep studies, trying to figure out how to sleep better. Turns out there's this thing in the front of your head called like a
Brain.
frontal lobe. It's part of this brain thing.
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
up.
It only rests when you rest. So like even if the other parts of your brain can kind of shut down or whatever, but this part will only rest when you rest. And so if you run that too hard, you can kill yourself,
Yeah.
as I've been told. So I'm
I
trying
maintain that you and I just need to figure out a way to split the difference. If you
Yeah,
take
you sleep
half
too
of my
much.
tired
Yeah.
and then I take some of your,
I'm on the ZQL melatonin cocktail these
It's funny
days.
because just like you both meet in the middle. Though.
Right.
we both seem
She's
low
tired
energy
all the time.
all the time.
You can't sleep at
also.
all. But both of you are just like this all the time.
Well, today in
Pretty
particular, I feel I was trying to get this podcast pushed today just because this week has been insane. We literally were in a meeting from 10:30 a.m. to this very
hey,
minute.
TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
It's Tuesday.
Huh?
Jesus
When we
Christ.
record these
and I
things.
already took I'm trying to get off the ZQL, and
Yeah.
I took 2 ZQL last night and a melatonin gummy. So it means I can't take it
I
tonight.
close my eyes and I think of happy things.
Yeah, I've been doing the thing where I just exhaust myself now. So like
That's what I have to do too.
I have to go to the gym
Yeah.
just to sleep now,
Yeah.
which I guess is a good problem. Look how happy James
I
is.
know.
So I am always tired, always. I'll get dizzy, whatever, but it can take me a while to fall asleep. Everyone I've ever dated falls asleep in 2 fucking seconds. And I'm always like, how do you do that? They lay down and then they're dead.
How do you do it,
I have
James?
an easy time falling asleep. I just can't stay asleep.
I put on
That seems
anime,
worse.
but with the
That would drive
volume
me
all the way
crazy.
down, so you have to read it. And then you fall asleep real fast.
I have the problem too where even just the slightest bit of light or noise, I'm awake and
Yeah.
I'm wide awake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't sleep
See,
through
that
stuff.
seems like it would be awful.
Yeah.
I'll sleep through
No
alarms.
one's gonna hurt you. You guys are afraid that someone's gonna sneak up or someone's gonna get you in the night. No one cares about you guys.
That's my question. We have a story about racist cartoons, but more importantly,
Sleep.
How did the cavemen do it? How did they go, I'm being hunted by saber-toothed tigers all the time.
Well, they didn't sleep.
Better sleep here.
They slept like dogs. They didn't
Caves
do
on
the
top of
8
each
hours.
other.
I feel like they take shifts.
Well, yeah, but they also
yeah.
probably did like 2 hours, and then they moseyed, and then she always
So-
loves to point out what colonialists did before electricity. Their sleep cycles were entirely different.
Yeah.
The sun would go down,
Go to sleep.
they go to sleep, but then they'd wake up and they'd be like, "Shit, it's 1 a.m."
Yeah, so they would like read or bone
Light
or
a
do
candle or
something.
do something, yeah. Just
to kill
and then
time.
and then they
Yeah.
would be up for like 2 hours and then they go back to
go
sleep.
back
And
to
I
sleep.
wish I could sleep like because I think that's how my body wants to
Get up,
sleep.
walk
There
around. I
was
don't care.
a period of time where I was working full time and studying almost full time. I was doing 3 subjects instead of 4, and I was sleeping in 3-hour chunks. So
Like
I would
Kramer.
like sleep for as long as I could. I would like maybe try to find a way to sleep at uni in between 2 classes, and then I would be awake, and I would just keep doing that over and over and over again. It worked for about 3 months, but it fucked my social life.
I want to go. I want to take James' suggestion, doing the shifts. I need to find a
Someone
good
to watch.
Like, yeah, you
Don't
stay
have
awake.
cats?
What the cat's gonna do?
I could
They're so
definitely find
small.
someone willing to
cats.
watch you sleep.
Yeah.
They're watching this
too.
podcast right now.
There was something though that I did. I watched a video, or it was a PBS video, but they were talking about how about circadian rhythm, exactly what you were talking about, the whole sleep cycle, all that stuff. Because of artificial light and stimulants, we have like fucked our evolution
Yes.
in a weird way, where we're sort of like our brains are ruined now because we have messed up the circadian rhythm. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. Where it's just like our brains are like, time to stay awake all the time, and you're not supposed to be doing that.
I'm sure lights from screens have done that to us really badly. Like, you
Yeah.
probably look at a screen and you associate that light with being awake, even though you shouldn't be.
They've been saying this since the beginning, guys. When the cavemen used to settle down, they'd light a little fire. You ever go out into the middle of nowhere and see how fucking bright it is?
It's true.
It's super bright. We've always had light. The brain adapts. We're fine. We're fine.
All right, well,
the
Actually,
neon future
get to
is
sleep, Adam.
Let's talk-
beckoning us towards itself with open arms.
Let's talk
And
about
we've-
how
We're
YouTube,
born racist.
Let's talk about that.
Oh wait, we aren't.
We, for years, we thought we were born racist, but we found out it's the YouTube channel My Pingu TV.
That's doing it. Yeah.
This popped up just this morning. I had originally had a whole idea about just talking about Comic-Con and the future of like what's going to happen with conventions. And then
Boring.
but then a racist cartoon popped up this morning and it made things so much
Brilliant.
better.
Thank God.
So this comes from the episode of I don't know if you want to put it up, Omar.
Yeah, shout it out.
Hey, shout out to My Pingu TV for being just the worst.
I mean, the best thing you could do would be, if you're curious about this, watch it here or get ad block and then watch it.
I'm
Because
still-
the beautiful thing about the system we've created is that when things are on YouTube and they're terrible, and people go to watch it to see the terrible thing and criticize that terrible thing, it still makes money.
Thankfully, the first time I saw it was on Twitter. Someone had done a screen record,
Great.
so I
Perfect. That's
didn't
a
feed
perfect
into
way
the
to
channel
watch
at all, which
That-
I think is what has a lot of views. Let me see how many that
yeah,
has
that's
now.
what I saw. It had a lot of repeat, a lot of retweets on
it has
that one.
downvotes,
300
thankfully.
something thousand
It's
views.
got 1.9 million views on Twitter,
Yes.
and that's got 400,000.
Which also it did. I guess it one of those things where they screen capped it, but they also screen capped it in portrait instead of
Yeah.
landscape, which is.
You're a monster.
I think it's when a feature length film will come out in portrait one day.
It's not
in our
a.
lifetime.
It's
Wait,
not like it's a
so we're just going
good-looking
directly to it?
cartoon.
No,
Like,
these
I
are-
need to see the content.
These are all terrible cartoons.
No, I
It's
wish I had more
Dinah
time to
and the
research.
Prince, that second one there.
Yeah, Dinah and the Prince. This is their not their newest batch, and
It's not Dina.
Dina, maybe.
I think it's Dina.
You gotta
Yeah.
skip ahead.
Yeah, so it's
Dinah
around
have an
around the 30 minute mark, 11 minute 30 seconds. There's a part where the character Dina, basically has her skin turned a different color, a darker color, and she
As
is-
a punishment.
as a punishment, and she's scarred in the face, but her boyfriend basically says like, "No, you were beautiful on the inside the whole time,"
Yeah,
and then
she laments losing her beauty.
yeah.
Yeah, so she basically like agrees to something that will get her punished, and she's worried about what her husband will think because the punishment is that she is ugly. And when we see the reveal that she's ugly, this is what it is, and that she is now significantly darker than she was and has bumps on her face.
And well, also they changed her hair. They gave her like curly
yeah.
hair.
Yeah. It's so a lot of people, rightly so, are calling this racist. I read some of the Facebook comments on this channel's TV. It's actually called Wings Animation. They're from they're in Mumbai, India. Their whole YouTube page is sort of a mystery because it says it's made. It's a different company, but then it's saying like for business inquiries.
Their address is in the UAE.
Yeah. So it's the United Emirates.
Arab Emirates, yeah.
Arab Emirates. I butchered that. But yeah, so that's a little. I was trying to get some info on their social blade, but it's all over the place. But the animation studio is in Mumbai. But yeah, some of their comments. There's one gentleman says very good, entertaining, tells a good history. Thanks. They mostly take on like fairy tales. Another one says very racist channel. Who thought that the painting a white princess black as ugly is kind of racist? And then someone just said racist T. It's like racist with an E at the
Oh.
end. Yeah. So as far as I could tell, I went back and looked on this channel. This is the only thing I could find offensive other than them ripping off characters from Tangled. Like the animation, it reminds me of like Olaf vids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is this like sort of I don't know what you call this, asset flip almost.
Yeah.
Stealing, I think is what you call it.
This is a as far as I can tell, a non-American animation studio from somewhere else trying to get in on possibly an American audience, young kids, or it's one of these channels where it's like just put it on for your kids and you watch it. But then somehow this insanely racist scene just sort of made its way in there. And I wonder if that comes from ignorance or that comes from like, were they
What
actually...
else is buried in this that we haven't noticed?
I mean,
I've only seen that one video.
The problem is
Mother hole.
that stuff isn't
that about?
isn't that uncommon,
No, yeah.
right?
Well-
So it's not like this is just this channel doing this.
You're also consuming a piece of Western media created by a completely different culture, right? And this isn't an excuse. I'm just saying, like this is where this shit
It
happens.
gets warped.
When
where-
we grew up, it was the Fairy Tale Adventures, Grim Fairy Tale Adventures, that was made by like a Japanese animation studio.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
why does that look like anime?
I grew
Yeah,
up
yeah.
watching Pokemon.
There you
Same
go.
thing.
Yeah. But the racism in Pokemon is so much more subdued. It's you don't
There's
really
some
notice
weird,
it.
like, creepy sexist shit you could probably argue in Pokemon that, like, in Japanese culture is considered funnier than it is in. I don't know. Probably.
As of right now, the video has 3.4 thousand downvote or upvotes, thumbs up, and then 11,000 thumbs down. So it's making its way around. I'm just curious what the YouTube channel My Pingu TV is going to do when they go, what's going on? What happened? Like,
Is it named after Pingu, the
Yeah.
little claymation?
Yeah. They're using the likeness of Pingu.
Are they?
Yeah.
Don't
He's
fuck
in-
with
he's in the
Pingu.
pro- look,
what is Pingu?
Pingu's my boy. You don't know Pingu?
I don't know Pingu.
You don't
You
know
know
Pingu?
Pingu?
goodness.
Pingu?
Pingu, Pingu.
You can sing it all you want. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's a claymation penguin.
Yeah.
We
And
must
he
seem
was part of-
insane explaining Pingu to someone who has.
And it's clear
I
that
loved
they're
him.
capitalizing
Yeah, me too.
on
There he is.
Pingu.
Okay, so
He was the best.
I think he might
But
be a
Pingu
little.
has nothing to do with this racist cartoon, to be clear.
I think Pingu might be a bit of a dick. Isn't he, like, kind of a troublemaker?
he's a
little
he's a
bit.
minx.
if I remember correctly.
He's a minx. That's
he's a Swiss-British stop-motion
one.
animated children's comedy TV series. Okay. It went from 1990 to 2000. I did not ever watch this. No.
Good.
they would play it, I
shit.
think, on TVO in Canada.
I loved it as a kid.
I'm from America.
I know.
America.
Let me forget.
So I'm looking at replies to the original tweet just to find what people of color are saying or people who aren't white, because we all are. Looks like a lot of people have been reporting the video, so that's the thing that might.
yeah, that's actually as of right now, the video
something,
is
but-
still up. That's sort of the surprising part.
I don't feel like that's going to break the terms of YouTube.
Really the teaching kids what races are like, basically saying having dark skin is bad.
The thing is,
Yeah,
not
I don't
only
know that-
does it give an impression to white kids of what this is, but also if you're a little kid of a darker skin tone, watching this must make you just feel horrible. Like, I can't relate to that, but I can only imagine,
Well,
like, it's...
Again,
You're being told
these
you're
are-
not beautiful.
These
Yeah.
are the concerns you run into when a basically an animation farm in India is making stuff for cultures that can consume it from anywhere else in the world. Like, certain things don't work. I don't know that they were like, oh, we'll make this look like a black person and then that'll be bad. But I'm sure, because, you know, in different cultures, being tan is not attractive.
No,
Right?
in specifically, like, all my Indian friends back home, as they were sort of growing up in their families, you wanted to be lighter skinned.
To be
That
lighter
was
skinned
what they
and
perceived as...
to be darker is considered unattractive. And so in their, I mean, which in itself is not necessarily racist, but it's not the kind of thing you should be promoting in terms of acceptance of people and how people can't control who they are or what they look like in all kinds of scenarios. Maybe we shouldn't be
People
assholes about
sell
it.
skin bleach in Africa to black women.
So
push
I
it on
feel
them.
like this probably started from that. She's beautiful because look how pure, like the driven snow or
How
whatever
light
her
she is.
complexion
Yeah.
is. And so now she's ugly and her hair's worse. But because one, they're terrible animators, and two, their culture's different. Once you put it out there, now it's going to be interpreted globally, and globally that is racist.
Yeah.
And so like
Wasn't there was like a article that went viral about how if you Google search for like professional hairstyles for women, you would get entirely photos of white women, and then if you search for unprofessional hairstyles for women, you just get black women with curly hair. Yeah, it was really bad.
Google is racist.
The algorithm was basically racist.
This is
Okay.
a side note, but on Queer Eye, I noticed that in the first 1 or 2 seasons, Jonathan Van Ness, who I love, he's the beauty guru. He would never, if they had someone on who had natural black hair, he would never style their hair.
Yeah.
He would always bring in someone who specifically worked on black hair. But I think in the meantime, he's since learned how to work on black hair, and he like does people's hair now, and I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he like was like, okay, well, I don't know how to specifically do hair for this type of person in this culture, so I'm gonna learn how to do it. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's really
I worked
awesome.
with a makeup artist once who was disappointed when she found out one of the people she had to do makeup on was black because she
God.
didn't prepare the right foundations for him.
Okay.
Got it. It's
That's
the
not-
way
not that he was black. No.
The way that was going.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh no, I haven't
Yes.
like, and it,
Yeah.
I guess if you're not prepared for, she should have brought the right
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
no matter what.
yeah.
But
And you'll see makeup collections now where it's like the skin tone goes, it's like 5 shades, and it's like no one's skin falls exactly in these.
it's white,
Yeah.
slightly less
Yeah.
white, black.
tan.
Well, I didn't want to get into a too big of a discussion because right now we are 4 white people discussing race
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Not exactly where, obviously, it was going to go this way regardless. I'm just sort of curious what you guys think is going to happen to the video or the channel with something like this. Like, do you think YouTube's just going to
I
sort
don't
of...
trust YouTube to do anything.
Really?
I think the channel's going to be fine. I think that video may end up disappearing where they'll be like, oh, this one's not as good.
I think they'll
And
just
it's
take
good
ads off it.
as a negative thing, and I think they may just be like, we'll just private that one. And then they'll just keep going. I mean, they have it's a machine churning out stuff.
Right.
They probably have 100 of those waiting to go out. They're not going to be like, we should re-examine all of our content. To make
Here's a
sure.
question: will Pingu TV lean into their racial leanings?
Oh.
And then do other controversial videos, or maybe they'll release they'll see this and then they'll release a video that is actually more about accepting yourself.
It could encourage them to have like black leads,
Maybe,
for
yeah.
example.
Maybe. I
people
think
of color in general.
I think the bigger concern about this whole thing is that this is just the one thing that someone found.
True.
This is a whole sea. There's a whole sea of content like this out there that whether it's intending to be or not is like completely sending the wrong message.
I'm excited for people to actually dig through this channel and find all the dirt it may
Oh,
have.
they will.
Are you talking about our channel?
Yeah. I was like, what else wrongs have you done?
It's dangerous when your intended audience is like toddlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found a tweet here that I like that was in response to that original video, which is, why does this tale even exist when Shrek is a thing? It's the same story. A princess gives up her beauty and sacrifice to love and then realizes beauty is subjective and love is not important, but it's not racist.
You're
We're
saying
like,
they copied Shrek?
yeah.
That's a big accusation.
A, copy Shrek. B, just make her an ogre.
Shrek's based on a
Yeah.
book, guys. Come on.
Was it really? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just funny too because it is one of those things too where I did this as a kid. I didn't care what the cartoon was. I would just watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's like at some point you just want something animated, and this came up recently, which we'll go into our next topic eventually. But I remember going to Comic-Con one year, and families would do this apparently. They do this at all sorts of conventions. They just leave their kids. They just drop them off and go, good luck. I was talking to Gus and Jeff about this, that when they would have a booth, they would just leave a kid there. Some would be like, the kid would be like, I have nowhere to go. So they would like adopt a kid for the day. And he would just sit at the Rooster Teeth booth.
It happened all the time when I worked at GameStop.
Yeah, so I would see this similar at Comic-Con where I went to the Happy Tree Friends booth. And for those who don't know, was it Mondo, I think was the name of the company? But for those who don't know what Happy Tree Friends is, it is a very kid-friendly looking cartoon,
But not in subject matter.
always goes hyper violent.
Yeah.
And it's some of the most violent stuff you've ever seen. And that's sort of the appeal of it. And I saw some parents walk away and go, oh, cool, cartoons. And they sat their kids down and they walked off.
Nice.
And I just saw children consuming this media and not realizing that they were watching hyper-violent stuff, and they were just kind of like, oh, it's cute how he got his throat slashed, and he tried to turn on the windshield wipers, and it didn't work. They didn't really get the nuances of the humor, which disappointed me.
They just cried.
Are you saying, like, do you think it's on parents to police this stuff more?
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is also the sort of content that it's meant to be put on for your kids just to binge.
Yeah.
And not think about anything.
It's the same as video games, though, I think. Like, we wrote about this on Inside Gaming last week. It was a morning where I was, like, searching through Reddit comments of people talking about how much money their kids had spent on microtransactions in video games. And it's the same thing where they're just supposed to be there to entertain the child. You can be in the same room and they can still spend $2,000 accidentally and you don't know. It's like, because everything looks so innocent, it doesn't mean it is.
I saw that happening almost live. I went to someone's house for a wedding, and the kids the whole time were just playing Fortnite on the TV. And I saw them kept buying stuff. And I was like, and the parents did not seem to care. They were just like, yeah, whatever. But it's like, they're going to get a $200 bill or something and just be like, what did you need there? Because all the kids that talked about was what skins they needed. They weren't good at the game. They sucked. They're also like 7.
Not to do the old back in my day thing, but I remember when I first got a cell phone, and first time you got a cell phone that could access some sort of store. It's like, oh, what's this button? I went into it and I went through and I was like, oh, ringtone, and I pressed it. And it just does the thing where it just bills it to the service. And I was like, oh no, oh no. And then lo and behold, like 3 weeks later, my dad was like, did you buy something? I was like, it was an accident. I did not mean to.
But it'd be like, did you spend 99 cents?
But it was, yeah. It was like, I think
but you were terrified.
49 cents.
Yeah, you were terrified.
And I was like, oh
finding out.
no.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Or on Alana in Habba Hotel.
Yeah, I spent lots of money.
I think you may have told the story. I don't know if you guys heard this one before, but
I told it on Inside Gaming.
It's fascinating.
So, Habbo Hotel's I don't even really know how to describe it, but basically it's like a giant hotel where you hang out and you have your own room and you can like build on your rooms and put furniture in and whatever.
It's like a Club Penguin type.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I spent a bunch of money to buy cool furniture, and I did it by just calling a phone number and putting a code in. So that's
easy.
all you had to do. It was I just grabbed my parents' phone and typed the thing in and didn't make any connection between what I was doing, because I would have been, I think, 10 or so. And I just had absolutely no knowledge that it would charge anything, because I wasn't putting a credit card in, it was just charging the phone bill.
Yeah.
So I had no idea until my parents got the phone bill. Thankfully, they didn't get mad at me. They were like, we're aware that this is designed to manipulate you to do that. But I had a sweet couch, though.
No accountability.
Did get to keep it.
No repercussions.
No accountability.
Didn't do shit.
That's how you grew up to be the person you are today.
I think they made me stop playing the game, which is fair. But here I am.
Yeah.
Well, what could have saved you a lot of time is taking care of your teeth.
Hey.
Good point.
Okay.
And I want
Well, you should say,
yeah.
one thing we can all agree on about beauty is that...
He was doing the other thing.
I know, but
No, his is better.
Mine is better.
Do it.
Is that taking care of your teeth is beautiful.
You're right, James, and that's why we're sponsored by Quip.
That being said, if you don't have teeth, it's okay.
You're still beautiful.
When it comes to having an award-winning smile, the first step is brushing your teeth, and we agree that you should be using Quip when you want to have that beautiful smile. Quip is a mail-by-service toothbrush company. We've been using them for the last couple of years now. They are fantastic. My wife actually started using them first. I was interested, tried out. I ain't going back. It's perfect for traveling. It's one of my favorite things. I used to hate having to travel with one of my old toothbrushes that you have to keep a charger attached with. Quip's great because it comes with a replaceable battery. And they also give you refillable heads that are sent to you automatically. So as always, dental care is so freaking important that you want to be healthy. One of those things is you should have a clean toothbrush head. I'm super guilty of being one of those people that would just use an old toothbrush forever. And it's nice to have someone that will just send you one just when you need it, because they know you better than you know yourself. So, like I said, I love Quip, fantastic company, and I will continue using them for a long time. And I want you guys to use them as well. So, why not start today? Just starting for $25, you can go to quip.com. That's getquip.com/dude and get your first refill pack for free. That's one of those things that you're going to want. That's your first refill pack free when you go to getquip.com/dude. Thank you, Quip. We love that you sponsor this podcast.
I love my Quip.
I use it every day.
Yeah, me too.
I got a notification of my refill. I was like,
I got mine too. Yep.
coming from me.
I like that. So not that we don't need to talk about stuff, but regardless, I like when you can, in general, when you can buy things. This goes back to when Bruce gave me his Roomba. He was like, it's broken or something. Who cares? You can have it. And I was like, well, what's wrong with it? He's like, battery always dies. And I go, oh, okay, so I just need to replace the battery. Totally fine. Some things that you buy, you can't replace the battery. They make it impossible. I have an NVIDIA Shield original one with the remote. I was looking at how to replace guide. The battery situation that they created is impossible. It's like if you take it apart, the whole thing breaks.
You think intentionally?
I think because it was first gen, because the second gen was you just put in watch batteries.
It's probably just inefficient.
Way easier. And then like the Roomba, I just bought a second battery, put it in. Same thing, like having a toothbrush where you can just pop in a new battery. Great.
The entire cell phone industry is built on the expectation that you can't repair your phone.
Yeah.
And it's so wasteful.
It seems to be changing, thankfully, like with Apple's whole new system of like, hey, maybe hold on to it longer. We'll have a repair program where you just take it into our store and we'll fix it for you. But it's also people are figuring out that their phones aren't truly waterproof, which I think is great.
Water resistant.
They're water resistant like once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Zach Anner loves to do this gag because he had a hot tub at the apartment he lived in, but he loved to pretend like he was dropping his cell phone into the hot tub. So that if there was ever a new person there, they'd be like, "Oh my God, Zach!" And then he'd like laugh in their face because he's evil and maniacal.
The joke is that it's waterproof or water resistant.
I mean, he's thrown it in there
It
a
works.
lot.
I mean, it still worked.
He threw it in there a lot.
Because I did the thing too. I think when Jess got like the new iPhone, and it's like the new one's waterproof. I was like, yeah, like, let's go underwater and do it. But then reading up on it, people were like, well, it's meant to survive like one like big spill.
Yeah.
And then like from there, it's like, okay, it broke the seal or the seal's been damaged. Don't ever drop it again.
Yeah.
But most people are like, we're throwing it in the toilet.
Unless you throw it in the water.
So like, I think most electronics will actually survive when you throw them in water these days. The resistance to a level, but like, yeah.
Omar, question for you. You were a lifeguard for years. Did you ever destroy a phone because you were saving a life and there was not enough time?
No, I never had my phone on me, but I always owned waterproof cases.
That makes sense.
So you
Waterproof, sandproof cases.
You first, before saving someone's life, you took the phone out of your pocket and you put it to the side.
No, Elise, I didn't have it in my pocket to begin with.
Oh, well, that's not what I'm hearing. That's not what I'm hearing,
Hero,
Omar. That's not what I'm hearing.
If a young mother ran up to you while you're lifeguarding and tears in her eyes, screamed, "My phone's out there," and pointed to the water, would you go out?
Absolutely.
See?
Your phone's way more important.
How many lives did you save being a lifeguard, Omar?
None. They would have saved
I mean-
themselves.
He can't even count
And now,
so many.
now, how many lives have you saved working here?
Thousands.
Countless is the
Countless.
answer. Thank you. Speaking of countless, let me tell you, counting the ways in which I love you, Cats trailer. All sorts of
Minus
stuff
one.
happened this weekend. So Alana and I were actually both at Comic-Con. Didn't see each other because you were doing.
Went for a day.
What did you go for?
I did a panel.
Okay. I also did a panel.
Yep. Different
Mine-
panels.
Very different panel. I went to the Rooster Teeth panel. We talked about a little show we're working on called Ruby.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Jeez. Oh, God, you got me.
There were many shows we talked about. Most importantly, one got a release date. Genlock coming to Adult Swim.
Oh, got me again.
Very exciting. It's all
Wow.
good. But no, in reality, the reason I went there was to sit with Jeff and Gus. They talked about Immersion also coming to the Discovery Channel, Shark Week or something.
You couldn't prepare the ad read, but
Yeah,
you got this.
you really
Got that.
scripted this, didn't you?
I'm going off the top of my head.
But there were
No,
lots of trailers there.
there was plenty of things. Vicious Circle was one of them. That was another thing.
You got 4 ads to read, buddy. You better speed this
One of
up.
them you already made for me. So thank you.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, that one's just going to roll. Did you ever get that one, Omar?
He did.
Excellent. Good to know. But Arizona Circle got a release date,
Yeah.
Elise.
October 23rd.
Why'd you pick that day?
I didn't. I had no say in the matter. It was supposed to come out earlier.
Supposed to. What happened?
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out
I guess so.
production's just,
Life finds a way.
or doesn't in this case.
Oh, right.
But Cats.
Is Cats
wanna talk about Cats?
technically
You
a
wanna talk about Arizona
Comic-Con
Circle?
trailer?
Yeah.
Partly, yeah.
Was it?
I did as I do with most things, I go, I'm gonna curate the list of the best trailers that came out during Comic-Con, and someone already did it for me, and Cats was on that list, and I
Right.
went, oh my god, that was
Cats' new most anticipated film.
really?
Yeah.
This is like
Not the one where Will Smith fights his own
No.
clone?
Gemini Man.
No.
Ah,
No, Cats
What
is now.
is the
Cats
plot
is
of
now my
Cats?
movie. Cats is my movie.
the
Can't wait for
giant-
Cats.
I'm glad you-
Jellicles?
Oh, it's old Deuteronomy.
are
Oh,
you-
Mr. Mistopheles.
Are you gonna explain it?
I can only say that it is an adaptation of a book by T.S. Eliot, which is a series of short stories about like the lives of cats, and he would do a little bit about these cats. Andrew Lloyd Webber, insane person, the Andrew Lloyd Webber, who made
Thank you.
as
So many
He's an insane
musicals.
playwright. I think Joel hates him.
What?
Yes, I think so.
I think people in the theater groups,
Well, they're uncultured
the
swine.
community, yes. I think they look up to the Hamiltons and they look down at the Lloyd Webber. So this psychopath adapted it into a play called Cats, which you may have seen.
I think I've seen the play. I just don't know what the plot is.
Second
musical?
longest running. Well, the musical is
Third longest running Broadway musical.
right behind Les Miserables and
No.
Phantom.
Phantom of the Opera and
And
Lion
Rent.
King.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I looked it up.
Wow.
In Broadway, at least. It's also one of the longest running West End musicals because it started on the West End.
I don't know what that means.
The West End is the London equivalent of Broadway.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the first time I ever saw a play was as a kid in London. I know. I whined the whole time. No,
I thought you were poor, Adam.
I thought I was
old
too.
Busterford Jones up to his hijinks. Rum Tum Tugger.
I was raised poor.
Victoria, also the name of a cat.
So this trailer came out for Cats, bridging the uncanny valley into what I can only describe as if Avatar fucked a furry. I guess if a furry fucked a furry, yeah, because Avatar's sort of furry friendly.
I think the new Sonic design looks great.
The thing is, the Sonic trailer, I was like, haha, yes, dumb. Whereas this, I'm like, oh, I hate it.
Well,
I don't feel that way about things very often. It makes me uncomfortable.
I love it. I can't wait for Cats. I'm so excited for Cats. That being said, I don't like the director or anything he's ever done.
Yeah, Tom Hooper is weird.
But I can't wait for Cats.
I'm not often unnerved by the uncanny valley, but this is really new territory for me where I actually feel uncomfortable
What is wrong
looking
with
at
you
it.
people?
I don't think I've ever felt this way about something.
I don't think so either.
They're cats. They look just like cats.
There's something, and
They should have done Lion King that way.
It's going to be
I
so
agree.
monotonous. It is going to be so monotonous going through each of those cats' numbers and whatever they're singing bullshit.
What do you
It's gonna
mean
be,
going
it's gonna
through
be
their
a slog.
numbers?
I
When
guarantee it.
Bumble Arena or whatever sings her song, you're gonna be in tears.
I only care about Old Deuteronomy because I think that's the funniest
Judy
name.
Dench's Old Deuteronomy.
So funny. To
What
me.
about Jack the Theater Cat or whatever his name is?
Oh, we've been calling Benson
Buster
Jones all week.
Jennifer Hudson will be
Cute.
playing Grisabella.
That's it, Grisabella.
She's the horror one, right?
They're all whores.
She was the prostitute cat.
Yeah.
Rebel Wilson would be playing Jenny Anydots.
I guess Judy Dench
right.
is Old Deuteronomy.
How do you know all these
Yeah,
names?
that's it.
Okay.
What?
How do you know all their names?
Well, two things happened.
Big
the
Cats
Cats,
fan.
the Cats trail. Well, I've always known the cat names of all the characters in Cats were the funniest names ever in a fictional thing ever. And so, but I never took the time to really sit down and memorize them. I just refer to a list of them when I need something funny, like Rum Tum Tugger, or as I said it, Rum Tum Tigger, which Joel quickly corrected me, but I was close. And then when the Cats trailer came out, I said, "This is my new thing," and I love it. So then I immediately started reading about all of the different characters and their different attributes, and then I also talked with Joel, who helped me flesh out my knowledge of cats.
Okay.
It's remarkable, but makes sense how many people independently contacted Joel to ask him about cats.
Yeah.
Radio stations
He was
far
like,
and wide.
everybody's asking me about cats.
They're all nominating themselves to die, so they
that-
can go to the
that's
heavy side.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Once
Yeah.
a year, they all send a cat to the heavy
To the
side,
heavy
the
side.
above, and
Yeah.
they're supposed to be reincarnated,
because
but
they got 9 lives.
I mean,
Because they're cats.
they die.
Yeah,
presumably.
but some of them have been around for a long time, like Old Deuteronomy.
Adam, I just want to point out that I noticed how long it took you to sign in. I just want you to know that I saw that. You pressed login like 5 times and got his password
Yeah.
wrong every time.
Chrome was doing a funny thing where it's like, no, 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 no. And I was like, because it kept signing into the wrong account. I was like, sign in my work account. I was like, no, other one. It's like, I guess Gmail.
Rum
won't-
Tum Tugger
user
loves to
error,
be the
but
center of attention. He's a very boisterous Jellicle cat.
What else?
Well, I wanted to talk about cats because it clearly won Comic-Con.
It won for me, baby.
Probably the most talked about thing.
Well, actually, people are probably wondering why we were not talking about the Marvel big thing. We're going to be actually talking about that on Funhaus this weekend. That's going to take up an entire episode because of everything they announced.
I didn't even realize there was Marvel news because I was too busy watching the Cats trailer.
I think I recall you this weekend on your phone going, Blade. They announced Blade.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
What is it? Eternals. We all care about Eternals. Next up, they had the Witcher trailer come out. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch this one.
I
yet.
did, yeah.
What'd you think?
It's not my thing personally.
Really?
I'm not anticipating. Maybe it'll be good.
Okay. I think you go in with low expectations. So when the best show ever made is released on Netflix, you don't act surprised.
I'm a lot more impressed by the way Geralt looks in this trailer than he looked in the test photos or whatever. But this trailer tells me nothing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm with
like,
you there.
it is a fantasy show,
Yeah.
and
Well,
Geralt looks out the window.
It's because they're trying to be broad and they're trying to capture some of that Game
I
of
feel like
Thrones.
that's exactly it. They're just like, it's Game of Thrones. Show them that imagery. And
I
we're
mean,
like,
that's
but give us a
probably
plot.
how they pitched it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are definitely leaning into the book series
Yeah.
as opposed to the game. And I wonder if it's because they're looking for like a Game of Thrones audience.
Probably.
How many
Like-
people sent you that shot of Henry
A lot of
Cavill?
people.
The best comment I saw that was someone said, that looks like when something's originally in 4:3,
And
and then you
stretch
find
it.
that button, you stretch it to 16:9.
Yeah.
That's what Henry Cavill looks like.
I
in
know.
Wait, was
show.
that the shot list shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
He's
paused
got
on that
he's
for a
got
bit.
some rags on, but yeah, I'm happy to say that I've reached a point in my career where that shot happened and people screenshot it and send it to me, and I value it.
I did
every
pause
time.
that.
He looks
for
like
a
he's
bit.
mid-transformation into Wolfman.
And
He
to
does.
those of you out there who say that he's too big for this role, how dare you? That is an attack.
It's not an attack on
That is
you.
an attack very much akin to the same attack that My Pingu TV has made on people that look different. So it's not fair. He's the perfect size. In fact, he's the perfect size for any role, I would say, dare I say, man, woman, or child.
So I'm with Elise. I think The Witcher is terrible.
I don't think
I
it's
think it's one of the
terrible.
worst things ever made.
Okay.
And I think this show actually looks different enough from everything else that I might enjoy it.
Are you just saying that, or do you genuinely
No,
not
I'm
like
actually
it?
kind of
I'm
indifferent.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent
Oh, okay.
overall to the
think-
Witcher series. I'm glad it exists and that people
I
like
love the
Alana
games.
likes it.
But I'm also indifferent to this show.
Okay.
I think Witcher, just based off the casting and production of this show, I feel like it has such a passionate audience that I have a hard time imagining it'll ever live up to anyone's.
I like Henry
Expectations.
Cavill, usually in roles where he's not Superman.
Oh, I love him as Superman.
No, I think he's a great Superman, but I think he usually does better outside of Superman.
I
Like
don't feel like he has a lot of range.
Man from
How
Uncle.
dare you? His wingspan alone.
I liked him a lot in Mission Impossible. Which one was that? Not Rogue Nation.
Fallout.
sorry. Fallout. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah,
he's
And
great.
Man from Uncle, he's
He's
awesome.
Archer, basically.
Yeah.
I don't have many opinions on the Immortals, but it's there.
He's the best part.
Even
And he's not even as big as he is now. He's way smaller.
yeah, ripped though. Yeah, or shredded. Sorry, he's shredded. Yeah, if you ever want to see porn for men, I guess gay porn, watch The Immortals. It's a great film.
Okay.
Starring Tarzan. or whatever.
That's directed by. He's not in it.
All right.
I like directors with one name.
Tarzan. No, it's Tarzan Singh. He has two names.
That's one name.
No, that's not.
Tarzan Singh. He likes horses being killed. That's
That's
something
true.
I
That
like.
is true.
Next up, we got the Watchmen trailer. Something
Which-
else.
I was not excited for Watchmen.
Did you finally
now
watch it?
excited for Watchmen.
Oh, really?
I thought you would
haven't
like
watched
this.
one yet.
Way
haven't seen
into
it
it
either.
now. They got
Oh, okay. Hooded Justice.
Hooded
is in it.
Justice, but I think this is supposed to be like a
Flashbacks.
show in the world of this, where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they made a show about Hooded
Uh-huh.
Justice.
Got it.
It is. This is the Damon. Was it Lindelof?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
doing this series. It looks like it takes place after the movie or the
It
comic.
takes place after the comic because it follows the comic timeline, not the changes they did in the movie.
Okay.
So like Dr. Manhattan is not vilified like he is in the way the movie did.
A giant alien octopus.
Yeah, there's-
blew up New York City.
There's an octopus in this one.
No.
Um,
Have you ever read or seen
Yeah.
Watchmen? Okay, I was curious. I didn't know if.
I also read all the prequel books that came out with and loved all of that.
Oh, they're
yeah.
actually good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Minutemen
Minutemen
ones.
ones,
No.
yeah.
Was there one that you liked more than the
I
others?
really like the Dr. Manhattan one.
Yeah, that one's good. I just thought the straight Minutemen one
Yeah.
was really good. Like doing the whole crew.
You know who didn't like it? Alan Moore.
No, he did
Surprise.
not.
What?
But
Oh.
he's retired officially now.
He's not allowed to have opinions on things.
Yeah, of
lock him
things that are passionate to him.
Well, he takes his name off of it, and then he has opinions about it, and then Zack Snyder cries and goes on his Vero account and goes,
I see you read my fanfic.
Oh, smiley face.
"Yeah, it's
And what's her face is calling herself Lori Blake now.
is it
Silk
Silk
Spectre.
Spectre?
I think
Oh.
she's like, I don't know. I was pretty disappointed by the teaser. Now I'm like, oh,
Well, this definitely trailer alone. Again,
That's right.
haven't sat down to watch it all myself. Have
Smart.
seems to paint a larger picture of the world, and those are early trailers, probably because that's only what they had shot by that point.
Yeah.
Made it seem really small and like, what about Watchmen from the viewpoint of a farm? And I'm like, this makes it seem like it's a societal issue, which I think is the coolest aspect.
oh yeah, they're really leaning into the post Watchmen world, which again, I feel the exact same way as
Go
you.
watch it
Now
either
I'm
way,
into
but-
it.
I was gonna watch it either way, but
The idea is that Rorschach's journal, I guess, got out there.
Yeah.
People read it, and
Yeah.
it's like, what does a world like that? What does that look like when? Yeah, they do show Dr. Manhattan on Mars.
There's that blue hand at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like,
Will we see Dong? Is the question.
I hope so. The
Yeah.
bar has been set low.
I think so.
If you understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
we gotta see
because
some
it's a
dong.
dick, so it hangs. So you have to set the bar lower, which means bigger dong. If you set the
And
bar
he
high,
could, in
then-
theory, just make his dick
Night
as
owl
big as he
ship.
wants.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
need
but
to.
that's why he made it perfect.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of
Perfect dick.
BTS footage of them talking about making the Watchmen movie, and they're like, we had to make the perfect dick. There's a lot of effort went into making the perfect dick. Balls can't be too big.
Just right.
Dick can't be too big.
No.
This should be the perfect dick. And
Well,
it was.
James, I noticed you have some problems seeing the perfect dick.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, perhaps you need new glasses from
Maybe.
Warby Parker. Warby Parker is sponsoring this podcast. Omar, go ahead and roll that wonderful video that Elise put together for us.
Yeah, I dabbled in the Warby Parker frames and lived to tell the tale happily to you now. So I went to warbyparker.com and tried their risk-free home try-on program. I chose 5 frames and had them shipped within 10 days directly to my door to try on at my leisure. It was like a fun fashion show for my eyes. For every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. It doesn't take 20/20 vision to see that helping others is pretty cool. I picked the frames I wanted, then sent the others back for free using a prepaid return shipping label. It was super easy. You can try Warby Parker out for yourself and see how good you look in your frames by going to warbyparker.com/dudesoup to order your free home try-on kit with free shipping all around. That's warbyparker.com/dudesoup. Be sure to type lowercase DUDESOUP. And if you have an iPhone X, be sure to download the Warby Parker app and try their new virtual try-on. You can try on eyeglasses and see the realistic color, texture, and size of each style from anywhere using just your phone.
Well done.
I think that's how we should do
Yeah.
all.
I was just
ads
thinking
from
that.
now
I want
on
Elisa
should
to be our, like,
Elise
our
trying
commercial.
on different
Oh, I
glasses.
love it. You give
Yeah.
me some more puppets.
Yeah. So,
We'll figure it out.
Warby Parker makes high-quality, stylish, and affordable glasses that start at only $95, including prescription lenses. Plus, lenses include anti-glare and anti-scratch coatings. Blue light filtering lenses are also available. So, like Elise said in the video, go to warbyparker.com/dudesoup to order your own free home try-on kit with free shipping. I've actually used them before. I have a pair that I travel with. Great, affordable. It's good to have in a pinch where you're like, I'm okay traveling these glasses. They're not the super expensive ones you get from the doctor, but they're just as good. So yeah, check them out. So I have a bunch of other trailers. We can talk about Comic-Con. I kind of want to talk about Comic-Con in general because we had some interesting discussions. What would you guys consider to be the trailer that you would have to watch? We're not going to watch
Cats.
it. Okay. On top of everything we already watched, we have His Dark Materials, Snowpiercer, It Chapter 2, Dark Crystal, what's it called? Rise
Age
of
of
the
Resistance? Is it? Or no, is it not Age of Resistance? It's
Age of Ultron, I thought.
Something
Terminator
was-
Dark Fate. There's like a little promo thing where they say
you look at-
the word fuck 35 times. And there's also the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I didn't make it through that trailer.
I didn't even watch it yet.
I want to veto it because I don't want to see it because I'm already in for
You're
that
already
movie.
sold.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was
But
a
any
good
of the
trailer,
rest of
though.
them, any of the rest of them.
You're all wrong. It was Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer
okay.
was the winner. It actually looks kind of okay.
Of course, it
said
looks
cats.
kind of okay.
It's
And-
So this is a television series
on TBS of all
based off
things.
the Korean film,
Which is
Snowpiercer,
adapted
starring-
from a French graphic
yeah,
novel.
starring an American
Well,
actor.
it was an American film made by a Korean director, adapted from a French graphic novel.
Everyone at the table likes Snowpiercer, right?
Don't know what it is.
You never actually seen Snowpiercer?
Never
Elise,
heard of
would
it.
you like to explain
I-
the plot of Snowpiercer?
Oh, man.
There was an old podcast I produced where I would do a Snowpiercer report, where every week I would do an update about Snowpiercer, but usually there was no new news. I was just really excited, and I had a graph where I would show like the snow and the piercing. But the movie's excellent. Like Chris
Evans.
Evans is in it. It's got
With beard.
Based on this trailer, all I can guess is that there are rich people maybe on a train in the snow.
there's
nailed it.
the world
Okay.
has
Frozen
over the new ice age, and the only thing that exists now is a train they built that runs by a perpetual motion engine that navigates the globe,
It has to keep moving,
and it
otherwise
has to
would
keep
free us.
moving. But there is a secret to the train as well, and there's this man, I think his name's Wilford, who's like in the top of the train, and
There's like a class
He's like the
struggle.
god.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
movie and in books, it's like
I'm on board.
there's
with how
a
this
caste
sounds.
system, so
Literally and
the people
figuratively.
that are in the engines, they're like, we're gonna uprise and we're gonna take this train and we're gonna go right to the engine and we're gonna get in his face and you know, but
Does it
I
have
literally-
like Murder on the Orient Express vibes?
No.
No.
Okay.
It is
It's-
actually.
it's sci-fi.
Imagine it. It's almost like probably the closest thing I imagine to like a BioShock, like when with like the Rapture Uprising, where it's really crazy because they go from train to train, and each train is a different place. So like there's like a sushi place, and then there's like the butchers, and
It
So
doesn't
like
make any
the
sense.
BioShock level.
There's like
It
a-
doesn't even make any
rave
sense when you
train
think about it, but it does feel like
Yeah.
a video game where it's like, now we're in this level. This, for some reason, you have to go through the kindergarten to get to the spa, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
how it
it's
works on this magic
really
train.
strange, but I love it, and I'm actually like sort of into the show. I would have actually picked His Dark Materials trailer above this.
you would have been wrong.
He did,
So
yeah, he did.
Snowpiercer is a movie originally.
It is a movie that currently exists, which I believe you can watch on Netflix,
being adapted into a show.
and they have now adapted into
But
a
as
show
Elise mentioned, that movie is adapted from a French
French.
graphic novel.
Yeah.
Okay.
by a
By a Korean
Which is like
director.
almost entirely different, other
Yeah.
than the concept of this train.
But Snowpiercer, to me, this trailer, which along with Cats, represent everything that I feel is wrong
Oh,
with
how dare you,
with
sir.
Comic-Con.
You
how
flipped
dare
it.
you?
Comic-Con, I don't know how many. We've all been, right? We've been to a few of them. People have been saying this for years. What I'm saying is not original in any way, shape, or form, much like Comic-Con. It has become this overly bloated commercial property, which
The whole of San Diego.
basically, yes. I think someone told me the attendance was somewhere around 250,000 this year, and the convention isn't getting bigger.
Yeah,
But
you have to do lotteries to get into the hotels during Comic Con.
it's
nuts.
what used to be the intention of Comic-Con was it was in the heyday of television, where the only way you could hear from your audience was through letters or fan mail, anything like that. Comic-Con was a way for creators to meet the people who watch their content, and that idea of sort of has become perverse to the point where now the creators are not showing up anymore because they are fearful of their audience, as seen with the Game of Thrones creators. Was it DB Benioff and
David
Benioff and DB Wise?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a discussion about how you feel about the ending of Game of Thrones. I think everyone's made it very clear. I've moved on. The show's over. I'm okay with my life, but a lot of people have not, and to the point where I don't know if they were quite really death threats or anything like that, but these guys didn't want to go to the very last Game of Thrones panel of all time. Like, this is a show that a lot of people really care about, and the creators don't want to be anywhere near their audience. Despite how you feel of what they did, one way or the other. I just think that sends a really strange message.
There's a lot of weird shit surrounding Comic-Con panels anyway, though. Like, I just found out that this weekend that the Hall H panels, Hall H is where all the really big panels are, where like
Avengers.
the Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Twilight is the thing that made Comic-Con like fully take off as a fan convention. That was a Hall H thing.
I'll disagree. I went to the Revenge of the Sith panel, but go on.
Sorry, my bad, of course. But people line up for hours and hours and hours just to get in, and they don't even necessarily know what panel they're seeing, just because they either want to be in Hall H or they want to sit in a seat and wait for the panel that they're actually trying to watch. So half the audience in some of those early panels are people who don't even give a fuck about what is on stage. They just want to be in that room. And people will wait for days to get in there. It's crazy. It's so unorganized.
To a point, James and I were having this discussion yesterday with social media and everything else. The stuff leaks out immediately.
Yeah,
Like
we're
it's
like literally scrolling through a Twitter feed that was showing every single slide from the Marvel panel.
Yeah,
It's like,
the-
oh, this thing's announced, this
gameplay
thing's
leak.
announced,
There-
this thing's announced. There's this
There's
person.
stuff that's exclusively shown at Comic Con, and you'll usually get a description that someone posts, like, here's what I saw. And but that I usually don't even follow. I don't,
it's
you know.
it's becoming less and less. And like I said, it's obviously a lot different with social media and stuff. It's sort of the question of like, why does this sort of show exist, and why are people willing to put the time and energy into something that is just going to be online in a couple weeks anyway,
Well,
or,
I mean,
or
Go ahead.
minutes?
I was just gonna say, I think that may be what gets out there because that's the broadest stuff that's gonna hit social media broadly and stuff. I do think that there's probably a lot of people that still go to Comic-Con because they want to see the amazing cosplay.
Yeah.
Like some of these things that aren't necessarily full on mainstream, amazing cosplay, and meet some smaller creators that aren't on the scale of the Game of Thrones creators that are there and
Like
do
Rooster
get to
Teeth.
interact with their audience. Rooster Teeth having a panel there, I think, makes a lot of sense. Like,
I did love going to Artist Alley. I don't know what Artist
Yeah.
Alley is like there anymore, but going and like finding books or art that you would probably not have seen otherwise.
I mean,
pretty cool.
I didn't even go to the show floor because
it's
the amount of people, I just
It's
didn't want to
frightening.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I used to really love before Comic-Con looking at all the toys would come out and then picking which ones that I want, seeing where the booths are and figuring out how to jump between them to collect them all because that's just a fun thing to do. But I think the one thing that's very easy for people like us to forget is the amount of fans who go because they want to be with people who are like-minded and kind of nerdy, where we're around people who have similar interests to us all the time.
Yeah,
But someone from, I don't know, some
Nebraska.
remote... Yeah, somewhere where they don't live in a city that has a lot of people who like comics or even Marvel movies probably exist, and they just want to be around people that they feel like the same stuff as them.
Yeah.
I
Or
think
it's
that's a
also
huge
like-
draw.
If you're from a remote like Midwest town, I can imagine just going to San Diego and seeing it's like a spectacle. It's crazy.
And you hear about a celebrity
Yeah.
being in the same city as you,
Yeah,
whereas
and you're
being in
like,
LA, you're
what?
like, yeah, I saw that dude on the
One
train.
of my
Yeah.
greatest memories was that of who's the actor? He was the original Kirk. I'm blanking.
William Shatner?
William Shatner. It was just hanging out in the hall. William Shatner just there by himself and his 16 bodyguards as they mow down a short, overweight dude dressed as a Mandalorian, and then him screaming at San Diego Comic-Con staff saying, Kirk hit me. Like,
I do think there was this weird transition time where like there were some older celebrities as Comic-Con was on the rise that were like, Comic-Con?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll go. But they didn't fundamentally get what it is or
Sure.
like
Yeah.
the Shatners. Now they might get it.
yeah.
But
I mean, it was a way when I was much younger. I met not the stunt. I met one of the guys who was in the Boba Fett costume. Didn't charge for a signature or anything. He just had a little booth and he's like, "Hey, no line."
the guy with the mustache.
Different guy.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
You
But
might have shaped it.
yeah, but then but I was the whole thing with having to wait in lines, all that stuff. I remember just because I had family in San Diego, we'd go when it didn't feel like it was as big of a spectacle, but like one year, my brother and I just dipped into the Star Wars Episode 2 panel. It was just there, and
Yeah.
we were like, we hopped in, and James Cameron showed up for no reason. He was like, "I'm working on a thing called Avatar and Battle Angel." This is 15 years ago or something, freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Just dip into a Futurama panel where they showed an entire episode of Futurama. Like, you didn't have to wait in line for this stuff. It was just there.
Yeah.
And like,
Wild.
I mean-
but that wasn't even that long ago. That's the crazy part.
I mean, how old would you have been during episode 2?
I guess like 14, maybe
So
15.
So when I first moved out to LA, 21, Dan and I, we moved out here together. Filmhouse is Dan.
Lovers.
Check it out. We were lovers at the time, but we were like, "Hey, we're here. You want to go to Comic-Con?" Sure. So then we just got in a car, drove down just on that Saturday, and then just walked up and we're like, "1 ticket to Comic-Con, please." And they go, "Here you go." And
Wow.
there was like no line, no nothing. And then we went in, we walked around. It was still busy. Like it was a far cry from what it is now, but like it's still probably the biggest convention I had ever seen.
Sure.
But the fact that I can think that like not 10 years ago, but a little over 10 years ago, I just
less
walked
than
up and
15.
1 ticket to Comic-Con, please. And then as we were leaving, there was a guy driving around because it hadn't spilled out entirely into the city yet, to like the gas lamp district and stuff. Gas, yeah, right?
yeah, it's Gaslamp.
Yeah.
I was like, gaslight district.
It kind of is in some ways now, probably.
Where it hadn't spilled out, so you would just like that's where people would be leaving and coming. It all was contained in the convention. There was a guy driving around in an old timey car, and then I saw him earlier, and then he drove past some railroad tracks. I was, please. But then he ended up getting over the railroad tracks. But then only 2 blocks further, the car did break down, and then he had to get out in front of it and then crank
crank
the
it.
front. And I remember thinking, if that had happened on the railroad tracks, I would have killed myself because nothing would have been funnier in the rest of my life. But yeah, it's just weird. It's weird to think that it's changed. I know that it seems from us, and you guys were there, but like I think it seems to us like, oh, why? It's so corrupted. But I do think at its heart, it's still a bunch of people who are all like, we're like, oh my gosh, we can all go to this one place at the same time and be
Yeah.
around people that are, we could walk up to strangers, no one will, but then have a conversation with that stranger about any of the 100 things that we share in common.
Yeah, when I was about 13, I was going to, it's called, maybe older, but it's called Supernova in Australia, which is basically Australian Comic Con.
Rooster Teeth's been there, I think.
Yeah, so that we had Comic Con and Supernova, and I would go to both every year in the city that I was from. And I was always going not to meet celebrities, not to watch panels, but I think just because I liked being around the stuff that I liked, which generally not that many of my friends were interested in. There were like one or two, so me and those two people who were reading comic books would be like, cool, let's go look at comic books. We love that. And it's not around you all the time, whereas now obviously for us it is. But that it was always exciting to me. I always looked forward to it.
Yeah, and like I don't really have a problem with Comic-Con being as big as it is. I just wish it was, instead of spilling out
Organized
into the
differently.
streets where it literally goes over train tracks.
So bad.
There's a part where like a freight train was going by for about 45 minutes because you couldn't cross over. And it's
So
like
bad.
maybe we relocate. I love San Diego. I think it's a lovely town. But there's got to be.
Ben talks about them moving it to LA. I know New York's really big now, but part of it is that San Diego Comic-Con makes so much money for the city of San Diego. I think it's like they make 25% of their income in that span of 4 days or whatever for the whole city.
think-
If you took it out, they'd be screwed.
And no concept of how to manage that. Clearly, it's a big
course.
deal,
Yeah.
but it does feel like confining it to that convention. That convention hall is bursting at the seams with what they're trying to put into it. If it was maybe more like E3, perhaps, where like the Artist Alley and like some of the like the Comic Con stuff is in the convention hall, but then these big panels are somewhere else around town. And
When was the last time you went?
What was it? When we went for Sonic the Hedgehog? Was that 3 years ago?
That's when we saw a miracle take place. I told the story during the panel.
Yeah.
But I said not one, but two children I saw stand out of their wheelchairs for Sonic.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Years ago.
and,
Sonic 25th anniversary. It'll get people to stand.
and they announced for Sonic Mania. That was the whole thing.
The
And it
kid
was-
got up out of his wheelchair and he went,
Yeah. And we're like, who, I ask you, is more real? Sonic or Jesus
Do
Christ?
they sell digital streaming passes to any of the panels?
I don't think so.
I mean, I wonder if that could ever be the
I
avenue
think
that
they've
they
tried that. I think
venture into,
Comic-Con has its
though.
own like YouTube channel and
Yeah,
stuff. And
I would say
tried,
though
but then
that
we're like, wait,
part
we
of
have
the-
nothing else to do for the rest of the
Oh
year.
yeah, and part of the specialty is being there.
They did
No,
have
yeah.
Comic-Con TV for a while. They
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a show, because I know Carboni was hosting that.
Yeah, but then they
canceled.
quickly realized there's nothing else to talk
Nobody
about
cared.
for the rest of the
Yeah.
year.
yeah.
But
let's
I only
speculate.
asked that question because like they have that hall, and then they're in both the hotels nearby, and then they use like the nearby museum and the park and all these huge companies. They're just already is so spread
Yeah, it's
out
kind of the
that
whole
like
city already.
I don't know how they manage it at all unless they just make it 2 weeks long, like do a South by Southwest thing where it's
Yeah.
way more
Maybe.
specialized.
That's not a. I mean, I don't know if the city could handle that, but
much
like if
cosplay.
it did become more of a festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate stuff like Paley Fest that has popped up in LA where they do like the TV panels where it's like the cast of The Good Place is at Paley Fest and they're doing their panel. And like Comic-Con could always do some sort of ancillary event like that where they're like, well, it's we're doing Comic-Con Light. That's a terrible name, but there's just like an additional week that's just like some panels they do that don't fall over that weekend even.
Yeah, I think they've been trying to do that with New York Comic Con, but it's not working. They're too far apart and in different places.
I actually have some thoughts on that, which I'll tell you over the phone using Mint Mobile.
Excellent.
Wow.
Check this out. So if you're still using one of the big wireless providers in 2019, have you asked yourself what you're paying for? Basically, between expensive retail stores, inflated prices, and hidden fees, you're being taken advantage of because they know you will pay. So enter Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile provides the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile saves on retail locations and overhead and then passes those savings directly to you. Lawrence, I believe, has been using Mint Mobile in the office for a while, and he loves it. It's perfect, and it costs, compared to the big guys out there, you save a lot of money. So Mint Mobile makes it really easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. And every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. It's very important, obviously. You want to tell your buds what up. So with Mint Mobile, you can stop paying for unlimited data you'll never use. So you choose between your plans. You have the 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE data. Pretty simple. It's one of those easiest things to do. It's one of the reasons why we really do like Mint. So to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/dude. That's mintmobile.com/dude. So you can cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/dude. Once again, that is mintmobile.com/dude. Phones, save money.
I just don't want to get
Love
into
it.
the position where I'm waiting in a panel for, whatever, Doctor Strange 2, and it's like just sitting there until I can get to the Cats Cast panel.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that situation.
Well,
I shouldn't have to be.
to your point about I do actually think a lot of good comes from these sorts of conventions where there is a like-minded sense. So like typically, not a lot of douchebags go to the Comic Cons. It's always really nice people. I've only run into nice people at these sorts of things, but I feel like
I was like,
That might be a perspective.
I'm not, more often than not, the people are very kind and nice. Like, it's not like been to like gun shows or people.
Shatner.
okay.
Shatner was a jerk. Yes. It's not BroCon or Beat Your Wife Con. Those
Bros
sorts of
can be
things.
nice.
I was gonna say, well, I don't. What conventions have bad people?
I don't know. I actually don't go to a lot of
I feel like
conventions.
probably there wouldn't be
Charlottesville.
conventions, but I was thinking like
Yeah.
Charlottesville.
sports games, people are angry and
When I said
aggressive.
earlier when I went to the gun show, it was literally a show where people showing off their biceps. Yeah.
Well,
and
Sounds
they
good to
weren't
me.
nice.
They were actually really nice.
course
I was
they
being
were.
facetious.
Of course
They were
they're
the greatest people in the world. But I guess Comic-Con has become this sort of thing that's like, it's like this orgy of information. It's sort of like E3. It is the Super Bowl of every big company putting out there. Are there any smaller conventions that you guys would recommend people go to if you are still looking for like the cosplay and sort of the community aspect?
No, because then they're gonna find them and they're gonna go there and ruin it.
I've always wanted to go to Magfest.
What is Magfest?
I think that it's like a combination of a lot of live music and video games. So it has like the nerdy stuff that a Comic Con would have, but they also have live music.
Is that like
pretty
DreamHack?
regularly.
I want to go to DreamHack because you hack.
I don't think you.
Yeah,
need that
so
there, dude.
Magfest is an annual festival held in the Washington metropolitan area that celebrates video games and video game music.
Actually, looks rad.
Yeah,
I'd like
it
to
just
check
sounds very cool, and I've always been interested in checking it out.
I don't know.
WonderCon used to feel like Comic Con Junior, like Comic Con's little nerdy brother. And I don't know what it feels like now. I haven't been in a few years, but that really for me also was mostly about like the artist alley, like
Yeah.
going in.
And also now that Tilly's is gone, you don't have to worry about getting
Tiffy's.
Tiffy's, whatever.
I was like, did Tilly's go out of business?
Now that Tiffy's is gone, you
It
have
was-
to worry about getting food
It
poisoning
was a
after going.
diner near the convention center, and I got horrific food poising from there. Like,
Well, you saw
sick
them
for
take your sandwich out of the
days.
microwave or whatever.
There was actually an event. I think you guys both went there. Jess was at Designer Con.
oh yeah, I've been.
Which used to be in
haven't been.
Pasadena, is now in Anaheim. Actually, if you have any sort of interest in art, I always say like Designer Con is a really cool place to go because you find a lot of like smaller artists. I've reached out to a few of them for like designs and stuff to do work with us because like I think it is very focused on just these are just designers and since they moved to Anaheim, it's a bigger space. But
I bought you some presents from there.
Yeah, you did.
I saw.
I mean,
I helped.
There, I don't know if they're still doing it, but Power Morphicon was a short-lived Power Rangers convention that I never went to, but Dan did. Said it was kind of sad.
There's some of the little stuff. Like we went to LA Zine Fest about
Yeah.
a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
And that was just like fun local. Yeah, I think local stuff like that is cool too. And you usually find like, just really good people at those because
Indicate.
you know,
It's fun.
Indicate in LA is
RTX.
great.
Yeah,
Check that
RTX
out
is
in
a good one.
Austin.
It's
Yeah.
over though.
One,
It's
small.
done. You have to
Yeah.
wait a whole year.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
It's
I
only
don't
in
know.
Austin.
I think it's cool. I do think that like if you like the idea of going to Comic-Con, but it seems too daunting. So you should. There are like conventioning is now like an industry.
Yeah.
You should definitely look up because there's probably something not too far away that if you and one other friend go there, you'll probably meet some people that are like pretty cool.
Gus
into the
did
stuff
that
you're
like
into.
doc where he went to FurryCon.
There's a board game
Yeah,
convention.
I went to a furry con for a day in San Jose. It was
Oh.
wild.
Are they
should-
nice?
should
Are they all
always
nice?
make
Yeah,
it
they're
in
super
really
cool,
hot
yeah.
places.
GamerX is really fun. That's also in San Jose.
No, let's go back to
Big
FurryCon.
gay
What happened
beer
at
convention.
FurryCon?
Just a lot of people wearing furry suits.
Okay, but like, what do they buy? Because I've been to CatCon.
They have an artist alley that was like
You could
furry
draw your
stuff.
persona.
Yeah, it was like a standard convention just based on furries. It's kind of what you would
Yeah.
expect.
PAX is
They have
still
furries.
pretty big, but like doesn't seem nearly as daunting as Comic-Cons.
PAX has gotten a
Yeah.
little big.
We haven't been in a couple of years, I guess,
Yeah.
but it didn't
keep getting
feel
bigger.
to be the size.
They
of
are
it.
run by the same company,
As who?
Reed Pop. They run Comic Con.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
One
They might
big-
not run San Diego, but they run the others.
If you were to do your own convention, what would you guys do?
I already mentioned CatsCon.
It's not
It'd
GatCon,
be
it's
different.
CatsCon.
Yeah,
It'd be
CatCon.
different.
CatCon had celebrity guests like Macaulay Culkin.
I would
and
have
others,
celebrity guests like Taylor Swift and Bustopher Jones,
as played by.
James Corden.
Who's Rebel Wilson play?
She plays Jenny Anydots.
Yeah, Jenny Honey
Next
Dots.
question.
I was gonna
What's
play
the name
a
of the one
game.
that's the theater cat?
I think it's
Gus?
Buffer.
like Gus the theater cat or something.
Now who's Bustopher Jones?
Bustopher Jones is James Corden.
But what does he do?
He's a big fat cat.
Okay.
And then there's Mr. Mistopheles. Don't forget about Mr. Mistopheles.
Okay.
This and more you'll find out at CatsCon.
Who does
It's
Judi
just a
Dench-
panel with me. She's old Deuteronomy.
When does that movie come out?
Not soon enough.
God, how long?
Christmas.
I think it's Christmas. It'll be a present. No one has to get me anything.
It,
Because Cats is coming.
look, as much as I did love Mission Impossible Fallout, I could not wait for that movie to be in theaters so I could stop seeing the trailer every week.
It's a good trailer, though.
I
the
know,
best trailer.
but I was desensitized by the time, and like they kept showing the helicopter scene. It was like a truck. Never happened in the movie.
The helicopter.
There's a helicopter going into a truck. It's the final shot of the trailer. It goes, and then it just cuts. And
I don't recall that.
It's not in the movie. It's mind blowing.
False
Anyway.
advertising.
And we're getting to the end here. But before we say goodbye, I just want to let you know that this episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by Fleur. By going to fleur.com/dudesoup today, you can check out our curated sample set and get 20% off your first custom Fleur sample. Now, one thing a lot of people seem to take for granted is your smell. Whether you know it or not, everyone is smelling you. Believe it. The significant others, moms, parents, everyone. And it's important to smell well. No one's going to do that better than Fleur. Fleur actually has sent us a few scents that we got to pick out. I really enjoyed the Greylock scent. This is a very coastal vibe, something I very much enjoyed. And Fleur wants you to know that they make great smelling, non-toxic perfumes. Unlike other fragrance companies, they're transparent and tell you every ingredient in their perfumes and why it is there. You get a good scent made with clean ingredients, and the sample process is just plain fun. It's pretty simple. They, for us, sent us a handful of them. We just tried them all out and sort of went with the ones that we felt more attached to. And like I said, personally, I would say try Greylock. Some of the other folks have their own, but you can check those out online by going to fleur.com/dudesoup today and check out our curated sample set. Get 20% off your first custom Fleur sample set. That's fleur.com/dudesoup to get your first 3 Fleur fragrance samples at 20% off. That's PHLUR.com/dudesoup. Thank you, Fleur, for the sponsorship. Check them out. They're great. Well, guys, that brings us sadly to the end of this show. I'll miss you all. I'll be thinking of you.
See you in the office after the show.
But unfortunately, we work together. And I'll have to see you all the time.
That's true.
So thank you, audience. Elise, is there anything happening on the channel this week that you'd like to let us all know
Oh
about?
my gosh, what's coming to the channel?
Or
this
James, would you like to
weekend?
mention more Cats
Cats
characters?
is coming to theaters this Christmas.
I
Be
got
on the
a
lookout.
Halo gameplay part 2 coming to the channel.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's coming out?
Yeah, we
That's
got.
right. Yeah, finally.
What else? I got the fucking thing. I don't
Oh,
remember
I'm sorry.
now.
I got the calendar here if you want me to help you out.
Yeah, pop it up.
We got stuff. We're talking about the MCU this weekend. All that fun stuff. We have the Grim Repair. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah,
VR.
Friday Night
Oh, yeah,
Freddy's
part
VR,
2.
Part 2.
That's right. But that's really it for the really super exciting stuff, except for Hong Kong Massacre.
Oh, Hong Kong Massacre, yeah.
Yes, it's been an exciting week. and
Didn't we
exciting
record
weekend.
that ages ago?
Which one?
Hong Kong
Yes.
Massacre?
Yes to all of our
Basically-
That
videos.
was forever ago.
I think who was counting it? We have 13 GTAs in the queue right now.
We're up to October.
So close.
Yeah.
We got to
get
do.
to the end of the
We
year,
just
then we
keep
can all take
on making
vacation.
We got
them.
to do another spook.
We're going to be so tanned by December.
It's like they look great. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching, listening. If you enjoy the show, tell a friend. It helps us out a lot. And when you check out our sponsors, be sure to use our code. That also helps us
In
out.
the comments below, put the name of your favorite cat from Cats. Not just a cat in general.
They're not.
Trick questions, Rum Tum Tucker.
We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Thank you, Omar.
These little things are coming out because due to the Freedom of Information Act, these declassified documents are coming out now that talk about like the stealth bombers and planes and stuff that are getting tested there, which 50 years ago people thought were a UFO aircraft. The U-2 spy plane was worked on there, and that just came out a few years ago.